So welcome to my first video of this new style of direction for this channel, and what I want to do is literally what I'm doing right now, which is just talk to you, hang on, in my own personal style without overthinking things, whether it's walking along the beach, walking around my local neighbourhood, walking around a city, York, Newcastle, Durham, Hexham, London, wherever it may be in the UK. And I've got two supporters. There's a girl that used to watch a lot of my content called Medieval Wolf Girl, who religiously would buy me 3 coffees every single month. And I've now got a second supporter who came on board recently with some of my history stuff over on my other channel. He bought me a coffee the other day. So today's shout out, he says as he flings coffee everywhere, is to Storm. Storm, you know who you are. You've supplied the coffee for today. So please come along and join in today and join in with this channel, with this new direction. I'm Ellis, by the way. I'm 52 years old. I live in northern England in the UK, and I have a beach on my doorstep which I tend to get my steps every single day. I do my 10,000 steps to some degree up and down this beach, another beach closer to my home where I come from here, and it's great. And I bring Ella, my Labradoodle, who I'll introduce you to in a minute. I brought a book out in 2016, a self-published book called Everest, It's Not About the Summit, which has been a bit of a cult classic, if I'm honest. It's done pretty well on Amazon. I put it into chat. We all use AI these days, don't we? And I'm no different. So I asked chat if my book and how many copies of that particular book I've sold over the last 10 years, if that could, oh, the last 9 years, sorry, if that could be classed as a success. Should I look to do something with that book? And it came back and unanimously told me with the amount of copies of this book I've sold on Amazon over the last 9 years, that it's in the top 5 to 10% of all independent self-published books. So next year, I'm working on bringing out a 10-year anniversary edition of my book. But the only problem with this, I've set myself a pretty steep target, I believe. So I figure 300 copies would be nice, 300 hardcover versions of the book. And I've started a crowdfund to pre-sell them, but I think 300 is probably an optimistic target now in hindsight. I can look at because I self-published Everest, I have to keep swapping my hands here because I've been at the gym today and my arm's getting tired, so I have to keep swapping my coffee cup. Yeah, I do get a coffee and I transfer it into my small Yeti vessel. Yeti's an amazing brand. This keeps my coffee hot all day. Just check that the dog's still with me. Come on, Ella. Come on. Now, my one big regret is that I didn't read the book myself. At the time when I put it onto Audible, I auditioned for somebody to read it for me, and I regret that because it's my story and it should have been in my words. In 2021, I brought out a second book called Misadventure, which hasn't done nowhere near as well as Everest. But that book just hasn't done very, very well. It hasn't cost me anything because it was published. But I think the publisher's probably disappointed because they looked at me, they looked at the success of Everest and jumped on the bandwagon of the success and the momentum of the Everest mobile driving forward. Now with that book, I actually put myself into a position of spending out some hard-earned cash to go into the studio to record that book myself. So if you listen to Misadventure, it's called, Life Lessons from a Life of Ups and Downs. Can't even remember the name of my own blooming book. Now if you listen to that on Audible, it's my voice. If you listen to Everest, It's Not About the Summit on Audible, it's some other chap's voice. So I'm deeply, deeply regret that. Now, why do I think it's going to be hard to sell the hardbacks? When it comes to what I've noticed, I sell 10 Kindle books to every single one paperback. That's why I know it's going to be tricky. Most people these days want instant gratification. We do, don't we? I'm guilty of that. I've just ordered some vanilla protein powder from Amazon, and I could have got it delivered tomorrow and it wouldn't have cost me anything because I have an Amazon Prime account. But did I do that? No. I paid the $1.99 to get it delivered between 4 and 7 p.m. today. Why did I do that? It's just instant gratification. It's the world we live in. We want everything now, don't we? And it's exactly the same with reading books. Unless you're going on holiday and you're going to lounge around a pool and you want a physical book with you, then fair enough. But even then, we don't do that now. We take Kindle devices with us and we download all the books we want to read. Why? You want to read 6 books on holiday? You're not going to sling 6 paperbacks in your holiday bag, are you? You just put them on your little Kindle device. It takes up no weight or space. Job done. So can I sell 300 books, pre-sell 300 copies of Everest? Time will tell. 25th of November, we've still got 5 days of this month left. 5 days of autumn. If you're in America, 5 days of fall. So I tend to go by the meteorological seasonal calendar, if you like, where we have 3 months of winter. It just makes everything so easy if you split the 4 seasons into 3 months, doesn't it? So winter being December, January, February, which statistically are the coldest months of the year. And then you've got March, April, May that makes up spring. June, July, August is summer. And then you're back to autumn, September, October, November. That works better for me. The other calendar, is it the astronomical calendar where you're taking into account the winter solstice on December the 21st? Winter doesn't start until December the 21st and then ends, is it April? I don't know. I don't go with that one. I go with the meteorological seasonal calendar. Come on then, I think we're done with going in that direction. Should we head back this way? I'm losing the sun here. We're heading towards right up into the sand dunes, but it's not looking like there's much sun there. So I'm going to head over towards the coast, towards the shoreline, which is just there. It's the end of November 2025. Believe it or not, I've actually been on YouTube for 2 years now. I've tried so many different formats of video, because the one thing I think you do need to do and be in life is not afraid to change, not afraid to accept that something's not working. Take it on the chin, learn from the mistakes and move on and try something new. You get nowhere in life if you sit on your couch and you plan things and you just talk about it, but you never ever get around to doing it. You know, the lack of action leads to depression and leads to stagnation in life. You've got to put yourself out there. Comfort is great. Everybody wants to be comfortable in life, but nothing amazing happens being comfortable. You've got to get out of being comfortable for amazing things to happen. And you've got to make yourself uncomfortable, because that's where magic can live. And that's where you can achieve those things that you tell yourself that you want to achieve. I've just got to show the sun again, because that is pretty spectacular right now. But what a sunset, or a pre-sunset, let's say. So what do you think of this style of video then? I mean, this is just the first one today, but they're easy to do because I don't really have to do much planning in these. There's not many, well, there's no scripting goes into this. This is just ad-libbing off the top of my head. Would you watch if I do videos like this where I talk about the things that I believe in my life, such as cosmic ordering, you know, the way I live my life, the way that as a 52-year-old bloke in Northern England, how I live my life with purpose, clarity, you know, a sense of pride and identity. You know, coming off the back of the 2 Everest expeditions, I ended up doing a tremendous amount of public speaking for a good few years, where I was standing up on stage, kind of as a bit of a wannabe Tony Robbins type character, putting my motivational slant on different aspects of my life. Now, I always had a problem with that because I suffered massively from imposter syndrome, because I was getting paid at the time quite handsomely to be an Everest speaker, i.e. a climber from the mountain, someone who's climbed Everest who can bestow that wisdom onto you. But that was never who I was. A, I didn't reach the top of Everest. B, I didn't really class myself as a motivational speaker, if I'm honest. But what I did enjoy doing was telling the story and applying my life experience from that story into a life that people could understand and simplifying it. So Everest opened many doors for me. It's had a massive bearing on my life, hence why I do want to try and bring out the book again next year. So thanks for watching. If you want to shout out and you want to be the next person who I mentioned at the start of the next video, you know what to do. Go buy me a coffee, and I will actually buy you coffee and drink it while we walk and talk, and I'll share some more curious wisdom with you next time. This is Ellis, out for now, and I'll be back really soon with another curious wisdom walk and talk. Bye from me and bye from Ella.